Revisiting the past can be painful, but it can also be a powerful way to educate ourselves and others.
As part of our Black History Month series, we are celebrating people, positivity, and progress. So tonight, 7 Action News reporter Andrea Isom shares the stories of 3 Metro Detroit women and their experiences with the civil rights movement and a remarkable group called the Deacons for Defense and Justice.
So much time has passed for Juanita Howard and her sister, Waynette Huff. But there are so many memories. When they think about monumental moments from the past, they were sweet, innocent little girls growing up in Louisiana. Little girls who witnessed some terrifying things.
The Ku Klux Klan ran the town. I can remember crosses being burnt.
You were frightened and you were afraid when you saw that. It did what they wanted it to do. It did scare you.
But their dad made them believe that everything was going to be all right, like good fathers do.
He was one heck of a man.
Otis Martin Sr. was born in 1925. Mr. Martin was a military man. After proudly serving in the Army, he went on to work at a paper mill, which was not too far from home, fulfilling his responsibilities to take care of his family and to protect them, but not just them. It was the 1960s. The civil rights movement was marching on. As the violence and torture perpetrated against black people and those who stood alongside them, like the Congress for Racial Equality, well, the dangers they all faced from the Ku Klux Klanmen and some lawmen was abominable. And no one was doing anything about it. No one was trying to stop it until this day.
A group of black men who gathered together July 10th, 1964, at a church in Jonesboro, Louisiana.
Their father, Otis Martin Sr., was one of them, one of the founding members of the Deacons for Defense and Justice.
They were formed to protect the civil rights groups that were coming to town. They selected people who were familiar with guns, people that was from the Korean War, World War II. They gathered them together and they started the group with, and they were the first civil rights group to carry guns openly.
The men would take turns protecting our corner to stop people from coming to burn crosses on it. And I remember plainly sitting out on top of his pickup truck with him, watching the corner to make sure that no one came to burn crosses on it.
It had to be a secretive group because they had jobs, and they could have lost their jobs if people had known who was a part of the group. They were some strong, brave men who was dedicated to their families and their country. And even the country, even though the country was doing nothing for them, they were dedicated to their country. All of them, were law-abiding. They were just some outstanding men. It fills you with a sense of pride that you have history that you can pass on
to their children and their grandchildren, like Taisha Vinson. Taisha is a producer here at Channel 7. And when she shared this part of herself, her history, the story of her great-grandfather, Otis Martin Sr., with us, we wanted to share it with all of you.
It's always been important to me to know more about where I come from. For me, it's always been about having the knowledge and being able to share it with others. But I hope that at some point in my career, I get to say that I made a difference. I want to be able to contribute just as much as my ancestors did. I have to make their sacrifices worth something. Otherwise, it was for nothing.
We are all so lucky to have Taisha Vinson at WXYZ. And she is already carving out her place in Black history, which is American history. I'm Andrea Isom, 7 Action News.
Certainly amazing stories that we have to continue to share generation to generation so we never forget.
Indeed.